Hello everyone, this is Steve, Backyard Musings, but not in my backyard, not in Apple Valley. I'm in my truck in Baker, California, recharging the truck. You see, I'm going to give you the whole story. I'm pissed. This morning, I left my house at about 5 a.m., had a 95% charge, needed to go 2 hours for some business. And I stopped in Baker when I was about at 50% charge to get a bump. And I went to 5 chargers at this location, Electrify America, and I was getting 5 kilowatt speed on a 350 kilowatt charging station. Here's what it looks like. If you look at that, you can see it says 350 kilowatt, hyper fast, except the current charge speed is 4 kilowatt, which is hyper slow. So I went to 5 chargers this morning at this location, and none of them worked. I mean, 5 kilowatt, that's painfully slow. So then I decided to go down the street to EV Go. EV Go has a bank of 10 chargers. All were out of order except for one, and a person was on that one. So I waited and waited to see if that person would leave, and they wouldn't. So I came back to Electrify America, and I docked in and I started charging at 5 kilowatt. I might as well get something, if nothing. So I did that for about, I'm going to say, an hour and a half. So now it's, I got here about 6:30 this morning, and then it was approaching 8 o'clock. So I went back over to EVgo. I was charging here. Went back to EVgo. The guy was gone. So I plugged in, and what do you know? 4 kilowatt speed. What the heck is going on? So I was like, you know what? Forget it. I'm at, where was I? I think 49%, 50%, something like that. And so I just took off down the road. So I had to do some climbing on the hill. And if you know electric cars, climbing on the hill takes energy. It hogs the energy, right? And it gives a little bit back when you're going opposite and going downhill. It gives back some, but not as much as going up, taking it. So anyways, I got to the top of the hill where I was supposed to be, met with some peeps over there, did our thing. I got up top with 31%, and it said 45 miles, something like that I had left on that tank. And I was like, okay, well, this is going to be tough. So about 10:30, maybe 11, I started off from where I was, and there was a rest stop in between the Electrify and Baker and where I was, like smack in the middle. And so I coast down, and I'm at I get there and I'm about at 29 miles and 18% at the rest stop. And it's 27 miles to Baker. And there's a charging station there, right? So I pull up to the charging Caltrans, and I plug in, and there's an error. It shows an error, charge station fault. Yeah, charge station fault. Check owner's manual. What do you mean? And little red lights are on the little indicator instead of the blue ones that you want for charging. So pulled it out, put it back in, pulled it out, put it back in, did that 3 or 4 times, tried to reboot, didn't work. So then I decided to call Ford EV battery customer support. So I got Gregory on the line. Nice guy, nice gentleman. He's back in Detroit. And so about, first he says, well, it's the charger. And I said, wait. Let me tell you the whole story. And I repeat the story I just told you. And then he says, I want you to click on view charger. So I click on view charger. It's on the home screen. and it pops up all the chargers that are available that I can see, that my phone can see. So I tell him what I see, and he says, okay, click on the blue dots in the upper right corner. So I click on the blue dots in the upper right corner, and it's a menu of what to enable, and I don't have anything enabled. And I told him, I don't have anything enabled. And he says, oh, well, that's your problem. You have to have them enabled in order to charge. Lie. That is not the truth. But at the time, I didn't know that. So I took his word as gospel. Oh, that's what. So that explains it. Oh, that makes sense. Okay, so I enabled Ford Pass program. I enabled high-speed chargers, middle-speed chargers. I enabled plug and charge. Clicked on those filters, and then it opened up a bunch more, right? Okay, and I told him that. Okay. Well, okay. This is all while I was waiting for the tow truck. And that was oh man, that was a mess. That was a snafu of all snafus, the mother of snafus. Tow truck driver finally arrives 4 hours later. It's about 4:30. And he gets me down to Baker. And I've got like 21 miles left, 16%. So I roll into the charging station, ready to go. Okay, say a little prayer. Let's get this right. Come on. I plug in. 5 kilowatt speed. Oh, man, I was so upset. What is going on? So that proved that the guy was lying because I had every filter enabled, right? Well, not that he was lying. I wanted to walk that back. Maybe he was misinformed. But this truck, man, I can only trust it for ranges around the house because the home charger is the only one that seems to work. It was working at hotels when we visited Utah overnight. It would charge like 4 or 5 kilowatt, but that's fine when it's overnight and you're sleeping. Not fine when you're on the road, want to get home to your family. So the bottom line is, I'm probably going to be here till midnight, take an hour and a half to get home, and then I've got to go to another thing tomorrow. Barely going to get any sleep. Got to make sure this truck is charged from the home charger. It's a mess, man. It's a mess. Think twice before buying a Ford Lightning Pro, and I'd say think twice about buying any Ford electric vehicle. Thank you for tolerating me. Talk to you later.